Welcome to our broadcast tonight. Welcome, everybody. My name is Kimberly Mann, and this is
I'm Russell Mann.
Wait, I was going to introduce my lovely, handsome husband, Russell Mann. You took away the lovely, handsome husband part.
Okay.
You really should let me talk more.
Yes, I should.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I don't think that's okay. No. That's definitely not the case. But welcome to our broadcast. We are TAMT Homes at Shore West Realtors, and this is our live broadcast. So thank you for joining us tonight live. We are checking in the chat, so if you have something you want to say, something that you want to do.
Yeah, please give us a comment, even if it's just to say hi.
Yep, and we will say hi back in the chat.
Yeah.
So we don't always look at it while we're actually talking on the broadcast. So, just look for our answer in the chat and you will see it there. So, but tonight our topic is, what's our topic, Russ?
Closings.
Closing day emotions.
Yeah.
Oh, closing days and emotions. That, man, so here's the thing, because what we work with primarily is first-time home sellers or upsizing families, basically families that are moving up or down, or first-timers moving up in their home. There's a lot of emotions that are involved with that.
There's a lot of emotions for the people moving out of their old houses because it's where they've spent a lot of time. They may have had babies there.
Well, see, this is the thing.
Like
I think that a lot of people think, yes, I'm buying a new house. I'm going to be super ecstatic and super happy and everything. And I was recently speaking to one of our buyers who's also selling with us at their closing. They were actually able to, this is for Katie, and Katie was talking to me at closing about the fact that her kids were like really kind of sad. They'd only seen the house they were buying once,
yes,
which was at the showing, and they really liked it. They loved it. But she actually said that their son said, "Mom, I can't remember what it looks like." And it was like, he was very sad. He was like, and I have to leave my room. She said it was when she packed up his Legos. That's when it hit. That was when it hit. It was the packing of the Legos that made it very real to him that they were moving. But like both Katie and Mike said, their kids have only ever known this house. Their son was 2 years old when they moved there, and both of their girls were born after they moved into this house. So... And of course, at 2 years old, their son doesn't remember their previous home. So this is the only house they've ever known, and it has a lot of memories.
Yeah.
And now in their case, they're able to move. They're still in their old home for another week or two. They can stay in there while they move into the new place. Although I know they're moving in, they were moving in over that weekend. So they were still in their old home, though, for a couple of weeks, waiting for it to close. So there's going to be a little bit of nostalgia. There's a lot of sadness, and a lot of agents,
a lot of fighting over who gets the bigger bedroom.
Yeah, well, but a lot of agents don't talk about those emotions on closing day. The emotions that are like, we sold one for.
Well, I think it can be stressful because they're juggling the sale of a home and not so much in this case because they've got that week. Yeah, but there's that week in between where some people have to do it on the same day.
Yeah, a lot of people do.
That can be stressful because what if something goes wrong?
Because you're doing it all on one day, and you're like, a lot of the sellers are moving out the night before, maybe moving into a hotel or moving in with family for one night just so that they can be out and be done and ready for the next day.
Well, we had people that previously that moved out, went on vacation, and were supposed to move into their new house when they come back, and all of a sudden it's like,
and everything was going wrong.
Buyer fell through for their house.
Well, they didn't fall through.
It didn't fall through, but it got delayed.
It got delayed ridiculously. And honestly, we just said no, and we held back on things, and it kind of forced. It wasn't the buyer's fault, actually. No. It was the buyer's lender who had not done what they needed to do.
Yeah.
And there was a solution to the problem, but they just hadn't tried the solution until we kind of forced them to try that solution. Then they tried it, and boom, a week later. But still, it was a lot of stress for them. It was
a lot of stress for them,
Yeah, because then they had to go through.
They'd already packed everything up. They'd put it in storage. Yeah. They'd moved out of their house.
They had literally moved out of their house because they had pre-signed, so they didn't have to go to the closing of the sale of their house.
Rather than pack up all the beds on the day of closing. They'd packed up the beds, they'd moved out, and they went on vacation.
Yeah, and they had to, and they came back and had to grab their mattresses out of storage to throw them on the floor of their house.
Yeah, so they could sleep.
So we could figure it out. And of course, in their case, they were closing on a buy side like a week later.
Yeah.
Or 2 weeks later, I think it was. And that had to be delayed because of it. And, my goodness.
And normally that doesn't happen, but there's
been a crazy market this year
recently that haven't
well,
played nice.
There are two lenders that have hit my list this year, as I will never, ever advise my sellers to accept an offer from those two lenders. So, and one of them is because one lender just flat out lied to us recently.
He did.
Yeah. We haven't even closed on that one yet. And and that lender, that lender lied to us flat out. We eventually ended up canceling the contract. We're under contract again with a new buyer who looks really solid, because that's a solid lender that we're familiar with. But man, the emotions that some of these sellers have had to go through, ups and downs, and it's our job to kind of keep them even keel. And then we get to that closing day, and you just never know when you walk into closing what is going to be the emotion of your seller / buyer. Are they going to be happy, excited, sad? And then, like with Katie and Mike, when they bought their house, we had done a final walkthrough, and we went to the house afterwards to take photos and discovered something that looks like it might be a problem.
Yeah.
Like an hour after closing. Now, thankfully, they have a home warranty, so that, is going to solve that problem for them. But it was still distressing because, like in their case, they had a relative who came to help them move, and that relative fell and hurt themselves just doing something that wasn't moving involved, just messing around with the kids, fell and hurt themselves, and now they were taking care of that person. Then they get to the new house after closing, and there's this potential problem in the yard that they have to get fixed and everything. And then now they still got to go through the sell side of everything. So it's like, wow, like the emotions that happen on these closing days.
Yeah.
So, and like Evan and Liz, they had that awesome mural in their son's bedroom. That was just amazing. And it was a little sad because you can't just rip down the wall in your house and take it with you when you have a mural.
You can't take the plaster down and take it with you. And
so what do you do, Russ, when you're like, how do you manage the emotions? Because sometimes we as agents have to be the ones.
Yeah, sometimes we have to be the ones that cheer them up or, console them. Not normally console them, but there's always some sadness when they're moving out of a property where they had a lot of memories built up in it.
So how do you handle that when you have a buyer who's kind of sad because they're leaving their old house and moving into the new one? How do you handle that? Like, what do you do? Do you have any techniques or things that you do at closing when they start to get a little bit sentimental?
I talk to them, hopefully tell a couple of jokes and, get them laughing, cheer them up, point out the good aspects of the new house. You're really looking forward to having that 4th bedroom, or, the 3-car garage is awesome.
Yep.
Just remind them of the really good things that sold that house.
The reason they're moving in the first place.
Yeah. For the extra space.
The extra land.
Bigger yard, whatever it is.
Right. Whatever
Even if
the
it's
reason.
Downsizing.
Yep.
Not so much room to clean, and stuff like that. Because some people are downsizing as equally as people are upsizing. So,
yep.
And
it is like those emotions of like selling a house can be really, really emotional.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you're selling a house, it's the people on the other side of the transaction you're not real happy with. And
yeah.
And that can make
you have to manage that.
And then you have to manage that. But one of the things about closings and closing day for us is what makes us a little bit different on our team than other agents is we always make sure there's somebody from our team there attending closing. Whether it's myself or yourself or one of the other team members.
We had one recently that I couldn't attend at the time. I got there after closing, but I still got there. But I had an important meeting that I had to attend.
Well, you had a previously set meeting, and then all of a sudden the closing got scheduled for the same time, and it was like, ah.
Yeah.
So I went.
So Kimberly went in my place.
Well, and like when we were gone on
vacation, the closing.
When we were gone on vacation, I had to manage that one because I wasn't going to have to be at the closing. So I made sure that Will was there because we were on vacation, so neither of us could go. And of course, our vacation's not going to change just because a closing happens. Yeah. But we make sure that there is a team member there to pick things up, drop things off. We always like to have at least
one of our team members to attend on our behalf, and we would do it for our team members. So
right, exactly. So if one of them had a closing,
there's always going to be one of us there.
Yep, exactly.
We have 6 people on our team, so there's always someone that can.
6 agents on our team. Stop saying 6 people. 7 people.
7 people. 6 agents. Sorry,
but only 6 can
attend.
Sorry,
Mary.
Only 6 of them can attend closings. So
yes.
So that definitely helps because knowing that your agent's going to be there, and for some people, the emotions at closing day are not sad. They're not happy. I know that one of my very first closings. For a buyer, like way back years ago, there was a title company guy who kept cracking inappropriate jokes. They were first-time home buyers, and they were super nervous because it was like such a big step for them moving from a rental into now. This is kind of serious. Like they were not a married couple; they were engaged. They had 1 child, and it was like this was a really big adult, like they were actually adulting at this point. Like prior to that, they had kind of messed around, had some fun, like they weren't living their lives the most responsible ever. They weren't irresponsible, but I think buying a house is a really big step towards as an evidence of being an adult. Like you can't really buy a house unless you're an adult, and it's like and I know for Ashley, she was so nervous, and the guy at the title company kept making jokes, like dark humor jokes about things that could be wrong with the house. And I just kept in my head, I was going, and I was a new agent, and I was like, this, as a new agent, even I knew this was not the right time or the right person. And I did say something about
putting these people at ease.
I actually even said something and said, oh, I know you're just kidding. And, this is, these are first time home buyers, don't, they're already a little bit, scared about this. Don't scare them anymore. And he kept going. And I was like, oh, so I apologize to them because I didn't pick the title company in that case. I did not pick that person. And I was like, oh, don't.
I think I would have gone to his bosses afterwards as well. I would have broached
he was an older guy
at the time.
He was an older guy. He wasn't actually his title company. It was at the title company.
He was a roving title company.
Well, no, he was just borrowing their offices to do he was like a closing agent kind of thing. And so it wasn't actually that title company's fault. Because for years I wouldn't use that title company because I thought he worked for them. And then years later I actually met them. This is actually Angela and Jim's title company. And I met them and I was like, the reason I haven't used you guys before is because, and they go, oh my goodness, that guy doesn't even work for us. He was just closing that transaction for you, and he rented our office space to do it. And I'm like, I had no idea he wasn't, because I was a new agent. I didn't know who wasn't involved. And obviously Angela and Jim are amazing. So
they're really good.
That wasn't really the problem. It wasn't them and it wasn't that, but it was like, I think the emotions at closing, a lot of people don't come prepared for it. So we do try to prepare our customers. There's going to be happy. There's going to be sad. There's going to be, there might be some anger if something doesn't look right on a document, and then it does get solved, but the emotions are so high and just like the whole day that I think sometimes it's hard to keep control of that. And that's where we as agents have to just say, it's okay.
And I normally turn up with a thick file, order file in my bag and say, I can't wait to get rid of this. To lighten my bag. And I say, is that our file? And I go, yeah, this is all the properties you've seen and all the offers you've written.
Which is something that you're going away from pretty soon here. You're not going to have those big fat paper files, but you'll have to come up with a new joke then.
Yeah, but I take them along just in case they're missing a document.
Oh, yeah, you're always going to have the documents. It's just we're going more digital with our documents. So
I just have to pull them up on...
You just have to pull up up your digital on your phone.
Yeah.
Look at your phone. Look at my phone.
Yeah.
Look at how thick your file is on my phone. I don't know that will have quite the same impact. So you might have to come up with a better joke.
Uh-huh.
And maybe you just put a brick in a file and go, yep, that's yours.
Yep.
It could be your joke at closing. So those emotions on closing day, definitely something that you want to pay attention to.
It's also really, it's a really nice emotion when they've finally got the house.
Relief can sometimes be the emotion they feel.
And I feel happy for my clients.
Yeah.
I know it's payday to us, but that's not.
That's actually not.
That's way down here.
It's so funny you say that, because so many people think that the emotion that an agent has on closing day is all related to the financial side of this. And honestly, at the end of it, when I'm handed the check, I'm like, oh yeah, that's right, I'm getting a check out of this too.
Yeah, I'm getting paid.
I forget about the fact, because our main purpose of our team is service. And don't get me wrong, folks, we don't do this job for free. We do make a living out of it, and we have to, this is a job. This is a career. This is
our full-time job.
This is our full-time job for both of us. So this is our career. But money is just not the main focus throughout the transaction.
It's not the main focus at all. And so we are looking to help these people, help our clients find the house of their dreams.
Yep.
I would, I'm not going to say perfect house, because there's no such thing.
No such thing as a perfect house.
And but we're trying to find as close to their perfect house as we can get. But it's also tinged, so we're happy that we've done that. We've managed to find them a house, especially like the last one. They had several offers rejected.
Oh, this spring it's been a nightmare for a lot of our buyers, and it's a lot of them. It's been a real relief.
But we finally got one that accepted their offer, and they really liked their house. And so there's excitement that we've got them. It was just as well we didn't get those other houses, because this one's better.
Right.
And so we got this house, but then there's also that sadness, because I won't see them again.
Well, there's a sadness for us, because we feel like we won't see them for a while. We will see them again, because we do stuff with our clients and things like that, but it's not the same as seeing them every day or talking to them every 2 to 3 days and walking them through a transaction. And when you're
going through different houses with them, with the kids,
and this spring, with it being
all the kids,
being so hard to get offers accepted, etc., we've spent more time with buyers than typically. I think you've spent like 4 and 5 months, where typically you'd only spend a month. So you get really close to people really fast, and then you say bye.
Yeah,
it's kind of like, do you know what I think the best equivalent I could say? I think it would be like being a surrogate for a couple. For a woman who is a surrogate, and she houses the child for the 9 months, like, she's carrying that child for that couple, and she gets very close to them and emotionally attached to thing, and then she's handing that child over to the couple, because that was the intention all along.
Yeah.
And it's almost like that's kind of, and it's like she's happy for them, but then also there's a bit of sadness, because that child isn't hers, and there's all those emotions with, giving birth and things like that. And I kind of think that it's very similar with real estate, because it's almost like we are carrying their child. We're carrying that load. We become
very close friends with our clients that we work with, and over time, you do get close. You have a laugh and a joke, and you enjoy their company, and
absolutely,
they enjoy yours as well.
One of the best things about this job is that we really don't, and the nice thing about being this much into the job, having done it for so many years now, that you really don't have to work with people that you don't like, because you have enough people that you like that you can work with, and you also get better at recognizing the people that you like right away, or the people that you're like, you
think, I'm gonna get on well with you, or I don't know.
Yeah, like we met with somebody last night, and I was like, oh yeah, these are our people. Yeah, like I could tell these are our people, and this is going to be good. It's just might going to take a little longer than some other ones, because there's some different things they want to do, and they haven't made up their mind on stuff. But I was like, but these are our people. There was a connection there. There was a connection that said, these are our people. Let's keep going, and let's work with these people. And so it is a little bit sad when you say, okay, here's your new house, here's your keys, bye, because ultimately we do have to let them enjoy their house. We have to let them go and let them do what they need to do. And that's kind of, it's a little bit, so some of the emotions are, sometimes it's relief because they're so relieved that the whole process is over. But actually, we don't get relief too much from ours because we try to take that pressure and stress off.
I had one earlier this year that
you felt relieved, or they felt relieved?
No, they felt relieved that they finally got a house, because we had, and that was the couple that went
that waived their home inspection.
Waived the home inspection because they just had rejection after
that we talked about a couple weeks ago.
And we were offering good prices. We were writing good contracts.
They just wanted a house so badly. Like, they had been working really hard.
Living with one parent, then they moved and they were living with the other's parents.
Well, and also for them, they had started the process. They had started the process with us, and then she had an accident, which delayed. They couldn't. Then they had to kind of put things on hold for a couple of months. So
they had to spend some money on buying a new car because
and they had to re-up their savings as a result, and so that took them a few months extra than what they had planned on. And I think there was some relief for them that this actually happened. And that is, I mean, relief sometimes is more of a, people sometimes don't, they dream about it, but they don't think that their dream is ever going to come true. And when we help them make that dream come true, there is that relief. Now, with our upsizing families,
she also became pregnant whilst we was in the
transaction. So they definitely wanted a house for the new baby, hopefully.
Yeah, for the baby.
The other thing that we have is, a lot of times people come into it absolutely exhausted, because our upsizing families that are moving the same day into everything, they have just for that last week crammed, packed everything, like, and sometimes they don't get a whole lot of sleep that night before closing, and they show up to closing going, oh my goodness, I gotta pop my eyes open with toothpicks or something, and it's like, I gotta pay attention.
They're asked to sign all those documents.
I know, and then they're like just signing, and actually one of the things you didn't hear at the closing for Katie and Mike, because that was the one that I had to do. Well, I started it and you were able to show up right at the end. But their first house that they bought, she actually signed all of their documents as Katie, and that's not her legal name. And so they had to go back and re-sign all of their documents with her legal name. And it was like, she was like, oh, yeah. So today they made a joke about, I'm signing with my legal name. See this, Dawn? Dawn from Johnson Bank. So when they were signing, they went, oh, I'm signing with my legal name. Definitely, definitely. So, yeah. So anyway, so that was really a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've had a few clients where we've reminded them to sign with their legal name, and then they have slipped back into leaving the middle name out when it's on.
Yep. And absolutely the middle names and things like that. But it's mostly because of exhaustion. They've been packing like crazy. That's all the stress that they've put on themselves to make sure it's clean and nice and everything. So, so there's a lot of emotions that come with closing day. You've got happiness, sadness, relief, exhaustion, excitement,
joy.
Yep. All these different, like,
lots of emotions.
And sometimes.
And worry.
Yeah, and worry, is this actually going to happen? And sometimes all of those emotions are all in one person on closing day. Sometimes you get the whole gamut.
And sometimes it gets delayed,
nervousness,
even by a couple of hours. I've had them delayed by a couple of hours.
Or like with Jen and Nick,
where I was buying 3 properties on the same day for that guy.
Yep.
He's an investor, and he bought 3 properties on the same day, and we walked into one, and
the basement was flooded.
We was doing our final walkthrough on the morning of closing, and I walked into the basement and it was flooded.
Yep, the whole basement was flooded.
Yeah, the sump
thankfully
pump
not a finished basement.
Yeah.
So that was an easy cleanup at least, and a negotiation.
So
but
that
it was
one
like
got put on. So that was a morning closing.
That got delayed till the afternoon.
Got delayed till the afternoon, but we still closed. They got a plumber straight out there, new sump pump put in, and everything was corrected. Even got a home warranty put on the property for him as well.
Yep.
Just in case the furnace went out later because of the water issue.
Yeah, so exactly. Even though it didn't look like the water got to the furnace, there was a
up to it, but not into it.
Right.
So I thought, just to be on the safe side, I asked them for a home warranty.
Yep, absolutely. So those are all of the different emotions, and you should be expecting that you'll maybe experience all or some of those emotions when you go to buy your next house. So
yeah,
just be ready for it. And we'll be there to help you. We'll be there to hold your hand. We'll be there to guide you through it and to encourage you.
Unless you're out of state and then you're on your own. No, not really. Because we can even help you there.
Oh my goodness, you're terrible. No, you are not on your own. We will find you a great agent. Just give us a call. And speaking of give us a call, I think we've kind of covered this topic for tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and sign us off here. Thanks so much for joining us tonight, guys. And if there's anything you wanted to put in the chat, we will absolutely be responding to you if we haven't already. We'll keep an eye on it. Even after we are off camera, we still keep an eye on it for you. So have a great weekend, everyone. I know it'll be Friday tomorrow and it's just a regular weekend, but hopefully you have a great weekend. We have some friends in town right now, so we're going to enjoy this weekend.
We are.
So you guys enjoy and have a great evening. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.